So in this video today, you're going to be using Onshape to create a simple extrusion using some sketch tools along with the plane and extrusion elements. So first and foremost, you need to set up a new document. So once logged in, there'll be a separate video on that. You're going to click on Create, which is this blue button at the top up here on the left. Click Create, and you need to select the document option. You'll then give that a title. So I'm going to call mine Simple Extrusion. I'm going to focus on adding material in the majority for this video. And you're going to click Create. As it says, it's now loading your workspace, and you'll notice that you have 3 work planes. You've got front, right, and top. These also appear on the left-hand kind of feature tree on the left-hand side here. The origin is, as you see, when I hover over the word origin on the screen itself, it kind of goes this orange color, and that is something that I do want you to be using. So for today's task, we're going to focus on using the top plane. So we're going to select top plane. That's very similar to selecting a piece of paper. We then need to be able to draw on that bit of paper. What you'll notice then is that you have this massive selection of sketch tools along the top ribbon here. So we're going to select Sketch. And we're going to move across to the center point circle. Now before we draw anything, I'm going to click N on my keyboard, which just puts us in a 2-dimensional view. A lot easier to carry out this first task. So as I said, we're going to use the origin as our center point to our circle. You're going to click once, you're going to drag, and you'll notice that the sizes are already on the screen there for you. So that symbol there that you see with the circle and the dash through, that is the diameter of the circle that we are drawing. So I'm going to draw it roughly to 100. That's 100 millimeters. Now without clicking anywhere, I've clicked once to finish off the circle. I'm now typing 100 and enter on my keyboard. I now have a circle that is 100 millimeters, 10 centimeters diameter. Next thing to do before we tick anything off is we're going to go straight over to the extrude button. Now you'll notice that we now have a series of options. We're going to keep this fairly simple for the first video, and we're going to look at the depth or the height of what we are producing. I'm going to right click on my mouse, and that allows me to pan around the page. You'll also notice as I do that with right click in the top right hand corner here, this little icon moves around with me. So if you're not familiar or confident using the right click button, you can start to go through these various views, rotating, turning it around, and getting to a point where you're happy with what you see. I find it a lot easier just using the right button to allow us to do so. So you'll notice we have the depth here. We've also got this arrow which allows us to control the depth of that first extrusion. I'm going to make the first one 20 millimeters. So I've selected in there, click enter, and we're going to click the green tick to finish that sketch off. So we already now have our first part to our drawing. Now if I want to draw another circle on top here, I do need to select my next, in essence, piece of paper. So I'm going to select that top surface. You'll notice that it goes with an orange line around the edge, and then I click. I now have an orange top surface. That is now where I'll draw my next drawing. So click Sketch again, center circle. I'm going to click N on the keyboard. So again, I can use my origin as a guide. And I'm going to go for a circle that is roughly 70 millimeters in diameter. So again, I've clicked once. I'm not clicking again. I'm typing in 70 on my keyboard and I'm hitting enter. Again, right click. We're going to go into the extrude option, leaving it as an adding material option here. And in this case, I'm going to keep it short this time and type in 10 and enter. So what we've learned to do there is to very quickly build up a component that we could export and print out on the 3D printer. The one final thing to consider is that you'll notice every time I've clicked a new sketch and a new extrusion, they all feature in this feature tree on the left-hand side. So if I'm unhappy with maybe the depth of that first extrusion, I can quite easily right-click over here, go into Edit, and that will allow me to change the depth of that part. So let's make that 10, which is the same thickness as the top circle. There you go. It might be that I want the gap between here and here to be smaller or larger. In that case, what I'll do is I'll go back into Sketch 2 and click Edit. And again, I can double click here or change that over here. So I kind of cancel that again. If I go into that element and go Edit, you'll notice that I can click on that dimension there. And in this case, I'll make it 75 instead of 70, making a small adjustment to my drawing. And they have, in terms of simple extrusion and adding of material. There'll be a following video, there'll be another video following shortly to talk more about the other elements or the other features of the extrusion tool.